Hi, it's Richard Moore from Racing Profits Guides, and we're up here at Hilltop Equestrian Centre in Dainthorpe with Mick Appleby. It's Mick Appleby's yard. We thought we'd have a bit of a chat about Mick's career to date, and then also talk about the November Handicap this weekend coming up at Doncaster. All right, Mick, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
All right. What brought you into racing the first, Mick?
Well, I mean, I sort of wasn't born into it. I used to go racing with my granddad when I was a kid, and then sort of took it from there. I got a job with Mrs. Pilkington when I left school as a working pupil. I'd never sat on a horse before.
No.
And she taught me to ride on an old horse called Willie Wumpkins, which was a good Cheltenham horse.
Yeah.
So, and then sort of went from there, really.
And then you became a jockey, did you? You trained as a jockey and got your licence?
Yeah, I mean, I never really wanted to be a jockey. I sort of always more interested in the training side. Mm-hmm. And then, so I never rode till I was 23.
Right.
Race riding. I was working for Baz Richmond.
Yeah. And
we had a difficult horse there, which I used to ride out every day, and the owner wanted me to ride it when it ran, so I got my licence out.
Right. And who did you ride for then? Was that John Manners you rode for?
Yeah, I started off with Baz Richmond, had a few rides there, and then I went to a stable jockey at Johnny Manners. I was there for sort of.
And where was that? Where's he based?
He was Swindon.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're with him for what, about 3 years?
Yeah, I rode for about 3 years, and I was with him probably for about 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And then your training career sort of took off from there, did it?
Yeah, I mean, when I left there, I went to be head lad for Roger Curtis from there.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of had probably 7 years at Rogers in Lambourne, and then I moved up to Warwickshire to train point-to-pointers. Started training point-to-pointers.
Yeah.
Took off from there.
So as you can see, you've got jumps as well, so you do train jumpers. I know you're known for your flat horses, but...
Yeah, I mean, mainly flat. I mean, but I still like the jumping, so I would always have some jumpers.
Yeah. You said 2 or 3 in the pipeline at the moment for this winter.
Yeah. We've got a few. I think we'll have about a dozen.
Oh, brilliant! That's great. And then from Roger Curtis's, you went on to Andrew Balding's, did you?
Yeah, well,
Andrew?
I trained the pointers for a while, and I did take out a licence in Warwickshire. But I trained for about 2 years there with a public licence, mainly jumpers, but I just never really had anything any good really. And then Andrew approached me sort of about going there to be his head lad, so I thought a good opportunity, so I moved there.
And that was what, 2008 was it you went there?
Yes,
yeah. And how long were you with Andrew? A couple of years, was it?
Yeah, I was there about 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm. And then you set up on your own. Obviously that's the last 4 years. You've started on your own really with the flat.
Yeah, when I was Andrews, I was a bit fed up there, sort of being stuck in the yard all the time, being head lad there.
Yeah.
And I got offered a job as a private trainer.
Right. Yeah.
For an Australian bloke down. He was down in Cirencester, so I sort of moved there. It's first run I had there, that won at 125 to 1.
Right, so it was a small yard, was it? Just
he had half a dozen horses, but some nice horses, and I trained 3 winners from there, but I wanted there 4 months, so I had a bit of a falling out with him, and so moved on. And then when did you come up here then to Dainthorpe? From there I moved to Graham Smith's.
Right.
He had a licence, and he stood at Leicester.
Yeah.
I was there for probably 8 months, and then I moved here sort of in June 2011.
Right, and this is being your main yard now, and you've got how many horses here now?
We've got 55 here now.
55 in training.
Yeah.
And obviously the facilities here are fantastic. You've got a good long gallop here. How long's the gallop?
Yeah, you've got a mile poly track. It's a really good gallop.
Mm-hmm. And it's quite an uphill stretch as well, and then a bit of flat.
Yeah. It's ideal for flat horses.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what you're known for, isn't it? I think, over the last couple of years, you've really got a name for yourself now. Have you felt the momentum building, or is it just as you've got more horses in the yard?
Yeah, the aim is to sort of, I won't really want many more numbers wise.
No.
My aim is to get sort of better quality.
Yeah.
Ideally sort of aim to gain some sort of group horses next year, hopefully.
And obviously things like winning the November Handicap, which we're going to talk about in a bit, but you won that last year with Art Scholar, didn't you?
Yeah, so that was quite good. And then
raises your profile a bit with owners,
Yeah, and then we went out to Dubai with him, which was a good experience.
Mm-hmm. So, did you get some good contacts out there as well?
Yeah, I did, yeah. mean, I met Mighty Cock and sort of got friends with Mighty Cock, so I mean that was quite good.
That's good, yeah. So what are the plans for the future then for you? Have you got sort of a progression? You say it's just really increasing the quality in the yard now.
It is, yeah, and I mean, like next year, I mean, we're going to have a lot more 2-year-olds. I mean, that's another thing that I'm aiming at, is to have a few more 2-year-olds.
Get yearlings in and then develop.
I mean, we've got probably about a dozen yearlings now, sort of what we're starting with. I mean, like this year, I sort of started with 6 2-year-olds. I mean, 2 of them I never ran because they were too backwards, so I turned away. I mean, I ran 4 of them, and we won with 3 of them. So.
Is Lulu one? Was Lulu the Zulu one?
She's a 5-year-old.
Is she a bit older?
Yeah.
So is that how you really got it? You did the older horses handicappers, really was your sort of thing for a bit?
Yeah, it was really. I mean, we can train 2-year-olds. I mean, it just never really had them sent to me. That's the thing. I mean, the most on what I have had have been sort of homebreds, which are not going to make 2-year-olds.
No.
I mean, I had Demora when she was 2, but I mean, I turned her away and never ran her. And I think it was the best thing that ever happened to her.
Yeah, she's come back stronger for it.
She has, yeah. I mean, she's a good horse.
Good horse, yeah. And the all-weather, obviously, you've got quite a good relationship with the all-weather. You've run a lot of your horses on there throughout the year, don't you?
Oh, I do, yeah.
And we'll talk again, hopefully later we can talk a bit about this all-weather championships as well. That'd be good to have your view on that. Well, that's great. I mean, jockey-wise, you use Andrew Mullen a lot. Are there any other jockeys you use fairly regularly?
Well, I mean, like Tom Quealy, I mean, he rides a bit for me. I mean, and now he's gone freelance. I think he'll sort of ride a lot more next season for me as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and then, I mean, I've got apprentice. I mean, I've got Ali Rollison now as an apprentice here, but I mean, he can't do very light, so that's going to be sort of the problem with him. But it'd be good for the top weights to take 7 off.
To take 7 off there. Yeah, brilliant. All right, well, thanks for the insight into the yard, Mick, and we'll just move on to the next part now. Right, Mick, let's talk a bit about the November Handicap up at Doncaster. It's coming up this weekend, and obviously last year it was your big winner of the year, wasn't it? Art Scholar.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the course itself then, because you walked the course obviously before racing, do you?
Yeah, I mean, well, I did last year. I mean, like last year I was a bit worried about the ground. But when I walked it, I mean, it wasn't as soft as what they said it was.
No.
Because I walked it with Tom Quealy, and he won the favourite for Cecil,
First Mohican, that's right.
I mean, he wanted soft ground. And when we walked it, I mean, he said like it wasn't soft enough for him.
It's faster than the thought.
Which would suit us.
It's a 1.5 miles, isn't it, the November Handicap? So it starts halfway down the Bawtry roadside. And then you sort of swing uphill onto onto Rose Hill and then down. Is there any type of horse you look for? Do they have to be well balanced, do you think, to race at Doncaster?
I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, like you've only got a slight hill. I mean, it's pretty level otherwise.
It's quite a flat course.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So I mean, really, you want a galloper. I mean, like you just want something that strides out and gallops.
And obviously the course itself, last year you said that it drains fairly well and it was fairly fast, was it?
Yeah.
Is that something you've noticed at Doncaster over the
years?
I
mean, since they redid the drainage a few years ago, I mean, it does drain pretty quick. I mean, like a lot of times when they say it's soft, I mean, it's probably more good to soft.
Yeah. And that's right round the track. Is there any areas that you think the water does gather a bit, or is it pretty?
Not really. I mean, it's pretty sort of level all the way around.
Yeah. And it's a big field, isn't it? The November Handicap. Usually, I think it was 23 runners last year. Was it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the maximum. I mean, you normally get maximum in it.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully if it goes sort of really soft this year, I mean, you might just cut up a bit.
Because of the and do you think it's just because it's that last big handicap of the year?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, like a lot of them, it's the last run of the year, so they normally just run anyway.
They all want to get them in there. Yeah. So what was your approach with Art Scholar last year then? I mean, obviously he was where was he drawn? Was he drawn sort of in the middle? Or quite low?
I can't remember really where he was drawn. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, it wasn't going to matter
what. He was
what.
About 9, was he?
Yeah, he went in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, with him, he didn't really. I wasn't really too concerned where we were going to be drawn because he was an older horse anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was always held up out of the back.
Yeah. So is that what your instructions to Franny were, or did sort of Franny? Because he stepped in at the last minute, didn't he? Wasn't he?
Yeah. Darryl Holland was supposed to ride. But I mean, he said, he was never going to do the weight. I mean, his excuse was that he won't well, but I mean, I knew he won't do the weight.
So Franny Norton stepped in for you.
Yeah, Franny stepped in at the last minute, and he rode him exactly how we were told to ride him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just produced him at the last minute, and that's what he did.
He did, yeah. I mean, I watched the race back last night. I watched the race back, and yeah, like you say, he just dropped him in and just kept him in midfield all the way round. And then it really was, even a furlong and a half out, he was about 6th or 7th, wasn't he? So
yeah.
he did deliver it, just
Oh
as
yeah,
you
he
said.
did, yeah.
Yeah. So, were there any other horses you were worried about in the race, or did you know if Art Scholar ran up to his best? And
well, I thought he had a great chance. I mean, he were in great form. I mean, first
he was
Mohican,
20 to 1, wasn't he? Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
I mean, first Mohican was the main danger. I mean, we were second to that at Nottingham, but having walked the course, I mean, and speaking with Tom, I mean, like, I thought, well, that way and lay yourself down on the ground.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, that was that out of the way, and then the other.
Needed a lot more rain, did it? A lot more.
Definitely, he had to have it soft. And then, I mean, the other danger I thought were Andrew Balding's horse, which finished second to us.
That's right, yeah, it was close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Perfectly timed ride. And some of the stats, I mean, there's not been a favourite win that race since '95 at all. Is that something that you think it's not really relevant, or is it just because it's such a big field and
I don't think it's that
race?
Yeah, I don't think it's that relevant. I mean, I just think in these big handicaps, I mean, you just got to get a lot of luck in running, I think.
Yeah, nearly 20 years. It's going to happen one year, isn't it?
Oh, so. Yeah, definitely.
And we talked about the draw. Obviously, Art Scholar was in 9. I think the top 5 were all drawn in single figures. Do you think there is a draw bias there, or is it just staying close to the rail as they go round?
Yeah, I think over a mile and a half, I don't think it makes much difference, to be honest. I mean, because you've got plenty of time to get positions.
And with such a long galloping straight as well, isn't it, at
Yeah.
Doncaster? So
Yeah.
they've got, 4.5 furlongs
Yeah.
or so, haven't they? So is that where the race really develops, do you think, halfway down the straight?
Yeah, I think so. I think, like, you sort of, when you turn for home, I think you're not going to be too far back once you turn for home, really. Because, I mean, they don't tend to come back there.
No, that's right. They do tend to stride out, don't they? Like you say,
Yeah.
it's galloping there. Anything else that people might like to know about the November Handicap? Anything you as a trainer obviously look for? You've got one in this year, have you, or you've got one in the entries?
Yeah, I mean, I've got Sue Chieftain entered. I mean, he'll probably not get in, but I mean, he'd want it really soft.
Would it?
Yeah, so I mean,
a bit more rain would help
but
that.
I think they do forecast rain for the rest of the week, so
Yeah.
I mean, it should come up pretty soft.
Right, lovely. That's great. Thanks for your insight into that anyway. Cheers, mate.
Okay.